Folks, it is the Joe Pag Show. Great radio stations across the land. iHeartRadio, Newsmax TV, joepags.com for all the social media. Glad to have you along for the ride. And I'm honored to have Danny Boaz on the line. Danny, how are you? Or, I'm sorry, it's Donny. Donny, how are you?
I'm blessed. Thank you. How are you?
Yeah, I felt like a doofus. You can call me Jim for a while because I said that. Sorry about that. Hey, listen,
No,
I truly am honored. I'm a fan, and I can't wait to see 6. For those who don't know, it is a new series coming on the History Channel in which you play Buckley. And I'm going to start somewhere where you might not have thought I would go, but I'm going to start with your Instagram post where you're standing there getting trained. And I'm guessing this gave you just a little bit of insight into what it might be like to be on SEAL Team 6. I mean, not certainly the gravity of what they go and do, but tell me about the training, because what you write there really sounds emotional and from the heart.
When I was 18 years old, I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life, as I'm sure some, if not most 18-year-olds feel like. I signed up to go into the Navy. I lifted my hand and said, I will serve my country, and I was supposed to be deployed 1 month later. During that 1 month, I got signed as a model and got a full-ride scholarship to play football. And so then I had options. And I went to my recruiter and said, okay, this is what has come down. And I said, I think I want to go this route. He's like, you sure that's what you want to do? And I was like, I'm pretty sure I'm going to go play football and be a model. So I was so close because I wanted to be a Navy SEAL.
Right.
Now, they didn't tell me that because I'm legally blind because I wear -4% contacts or something that I probably wouldn't have qualified, but my recruiter never told me that.
Right.
So the little bit that I knew about SEALs then, this opened a whole new world. They now have a TV show on called Selection, where they show you kind of what these guys go through, what we went through. February 14th, 2015.
Unfortunately, Donny, I'm losing your cell phone a little bit. I'm going to stop you. I lost you a little bit. You said that you see a little bit of what they go through, and then you started, I think, telling us about the training that you're getting. It's actor Donny Boaz. He is playing Buckley in the upcoming January 18th series starting on History Channel called 6, about Navy SEAL Team 6. I think we have you back, so if you can, take us into the training again.
I found out that I booked it. Can you hear me now, Joe?
Yes, I can.
Perfect. We started training on the 17th. I found out, and we started training 3 days later.
Wow.
And day one, I enjoyed it. How many push-ups can you do in 2 minutes? How many sit-ups can you do in 2 minutes? How many pull-ups can you do? How fast can you run a mile? I was like, oh, this is great. Then it came to swimming, and I have a background as an athlete, and so all of that was easy.
Yeah.
But after that was over, okay, everybody fill up your bags with 50 pounds of sand. We're about to go on a hike. And you just go on a ruck hike, but the first thing they do is I said, everybody, I need you to get sugar cookie. Now, I've heard of sugar cookies,
right,
but I've never heard of human sugar cookies. So I want you to go run out in the ocean, get wet. I want you to roll around in the sand until I can't see any skin left.
Wow. And
go do it again. And so pretty much the entire part of SEAL training that we had to go through, we were sugar cookies, then rucking with packs of sand. I've been through 2 and 3 days college football. I mean, you're going through the 104, 105-degree heat, and I thought that was hard. That was a walk in the park in comparison to what they put us through. Pretty much waterboarding yourself in the ocean. I mean, this is February in the Pacific Ocean. You're holding arm in arm and just letting those waves beat you up. And if it was just water and sand, it would have been fine. But you got all these rocks on the sand, and so you're pretty much like cheese, and we're sitting there, and you're taking it, and they're telling us to suffer in silence.
Right.
And the hardest part, we were probably the last 72 might have got hours of sleep. One night they fooled us and thought we were going to get to go to sleep.
Right.
They let us go at 8:30, told us to be downstairs at 0500. They kicked in our door at 9 p.m. and yelled at us to get downstairs and standing in formation. They started asking us questions that we just didn't know. Under what president did the SEAL start? I didn't know at the time it was John F. Kennedy in 1963, so of course I had to be down in push-up. Answer. I don't know how I was supposed to learn the answer in push-up position, but that's where I ended up anyway. And it was just a constant push.
Hey, well, Donny, I got to ask you, because I think people listening will want to know this too. Were they doing that to you physically to actually get you ready like the SEALs would get ready? Or is it also, is it like a double-edged sword? Is it trying to weed out the weakest right away? Because a lot of guys don't make it through that. They never make it to the SEAL team.
we had a couple actors that wanted to drop out probably within an hour.
Yeah.
They would pretty much say, this, I just don't need this. And I had to pull them to the side and say, look, you were hired because you were the greatest actor in the world for this role. Do not let them beat you.
Right.
And I had a subtext in my head, and I'm not allowed to say it on the radio, but I was pretty much saying, F you, you can't beat me. And that just kept going on over and over and over.
Right.
And the first thing they teach you is be comfortable being uncomfortable. When you're covered in sand and you got sand in every little region of your body, if it's uncomfortable, you got to be comfortable with that. Two things that I walked away from this. One, your mind will give up long before your body. Your body is capable of so much, and you don't know how much it's capable of because your mind is always what wants to give up. And there's so many times your mind says you can't go any further, you can't go any further. And then all of a sudden you find yourself 24 hours later still hiking up a mountain or still out in the ocean, still doing push-ups and still doing sprints on the beach, and you've gone through 2 sunrises without even going to sleep, and you're still going, and yet you still have it. And the one thing that I'm so thankful for, we showed up as 6 strangers to SEAL training. We left as 6 brothers. I mean, Barry Sloan, he's our lead on the show, and he's British. And he's
Right.
like, hello, Donny, nice to meet you. And probably a week later, he's crying in my arms. I love you, bro. We did it. We did it.
It is. I want to make sure people know who I'm talking to. It's Donny Boaz. Go and find him on Instagram. This picture that I'm looking at is amazing. And then he goes on about this brotherhood that you just had told us about and how it was created because of this show. It's on History Channel. January 18th is the premiere. It's called 6. And these stories are truly inspired by what SEAL Team 6, the Naval SEAL team that actually went and got Osama bin Laden, what these guys have gone through, and I think I can give away the premise for the first part of the series. Your leader, I think the guy you just mentioned, your leader is captured by the bad guys, and you've got to go and get him.
Walton Goggins, he plays Rip, and when I step in as just like when you step into high school football as a freshman or a freshman in college or even a rookie in the NFL, there's a little bit of hazing that goes on.
Right.
And same thing with the SEALs. Now, let's say I've been a member of, I've been a Navy SEAL for 6 years, but when you step into SEAL Team 6, it's like starting all over again. And when the show starts, I'm that new guy, and Rip Taggart, who is played by Walton Goggins from Hateful Eight, Justified. His resume is as long as my arm.
Right.
But he ends up getting out of the military in that first episode, and it's he that's captured. And Barry Sloan becomes the next guy in command. And pretty much the premise of the show is go and get him. No man left behind. So he's captured by some rebels in Africa. And, man, the amount of things that I learned from not only ISIS, but enemy worldwide,
Yeah.
things you'd never learned or things you wouldn't hear from SEALs. And I remember the first conversations that I'm having with actual members of SEAL Team 6, and you think you know, but the stories they have will warp your fragile mind. I mean, there are things you can't unsee, things you can't unhear. And it was a wealth of knowledge.
I've seen the trailer, the previews, and it's intense. The action is intense. The acting is intense. I mean, you guys aren't playing around. When you go and do this, are there people who are Navy SEALs around saying, we wouldn't really do that, or we would do that, or this makes sense, or this will be authentic? How true to the actual activity of the Navy SEALs, had these stories been real, how true are you guys staying?
100%. We've got the real deal Navy SEAL on set at all times. We had a guy named Mitch. The other 2 guys, I'm not allowed to say their name.
Okay.
But we would go through films, and they would just point out mistakes, like somebody's dust covers let up, or the way they rear back when they're on the gun, the way they reload guns. And just, he goes, we would never do that. And so if we ever did anything wrong, we had somebody in our ear hole real quick, because you're representing something so much bigger than you, and you better do it justice. And that was one thing, are you worthy? I mean, they put us through SEAL training, and I've said before in my life that actors are soft. And they got 6 guys here that were not soft. I saw tears and snot bubbles and guys' beards and mustaches,
yeah.
and you keep going. You push through whatever your fear may be, and you just keep going further.
It sounds like it's a life-changing experience for you, and I think that's pretty wonderful. But if you don't mind, you know that I'm based in San Antonio, which is Military City, USA, but I've got military members and veterans listening across the land. We also have people who have played organized athletics. I love that you made that connection. Let's go back to your choice to be, the football player and the model, or somebody who would have gone into the military. Is the Brotherhood the same? Is it different? Is it more intense? Is it exactly relatable?
It has to be so much more intense.
Yeah.
Because wherever your politics are in the world and wherever our government, senator, congressman, president want to send you, sometimes you don't always agree with that. But at the end of the man or the woman to your right or your left. You don't always have to agree with the mission, but you're fighting for that person. And when it's your life that's on the line, that means so much more than whether we win this football game or basketball or game or track meet.
Yeah.
And hearing the stories from the guys that trained us, I mean, sadly, a person that's right next to him, sometimes it depends on what number were you that you got on the vehicle. Some IED blows up and guy takes shrapnel to the neck. I mean, what if you were the guy that got on the truck later? I mean, it's just all a chance sometimes. And one of the guys that trained us got shot in the hip, and the battle doesn't stop there. A man goes down. You have to finish the mission and then go back for the man. So there's so much more at stake in this than any team thing I've been a part of. In the last probably 3 or 4 months since there's been a lot of promotion for the show, I've had a lot of soldiers, veterans reach out to me. My sister's been in the Navy 15 years now. She's stationed up in Dallas, Texas, and Fort Worth, and she just became a chief. And so what I get to do in make-believe land, what I get to do in make-believe land, my sister actually does the real deal. And so she just got promoted to chief. And when we finished SEAL training, I got my first challenge coin. And I didn't know that it would emotionally hit me that my sister has like 13 or 14 of these, and I finally got one. I have to say that the first phone call I made after receiving that was my sister.
That's
but
cool.
A lot of these veterans and soldiers have reached out. I actually just got a message from a lady. She was an ex-Washington Redskins cheerleader, and one of her fellow cheerleaders, her husband was a SEAL, and he died in duty. And she asked that I just send him a letter, or send her a letter and say hello, and she said it would make her day. So I reached out to her, and I actually sent it to the rest of the guys and said if they wanted to reach out to her. But I'm telling you, on a daily basis, I'm getting a message or a letter from a veteran or a soldier telling me what this means to him. So it represents something so much bigger than you.
Well, Donny, listen, it made my day to have you on. It sounds like an incredible series, and it really does sound like it's changed you. Not that I knew you beforehand, but I mean, you're so intense about how you feel about this and the Brotherhood and learning what the Navy SEAL Team 6 really does. And yeah, getting that first challenge coin, I've got a few, but getting that first challenge coin is an awesome feeling like, wow, look what I accomplished, and you didn't even realize it was on the way. Hopefully we could talk again, my friend. I want everybody to tune in January 18th. It's on History Channel. The name of the show is 6, and you played Buckley. Thanks a million for the time.
Hey, thanks for having me, man.
Really appreciate having it. How cool was that, Carrie? Come on.
Sounds like a very nice guy, and I've seen the trailer. It looks so good.
Isn't it crazy good?
I have to watch that.
Totally watching that. All right, your thoughts on the Rosie O'Donnell kerfuffle? Your thoughts on whatever's on your mind on a Free Speech Friday? 1-800-383-9624, joepags.com. Stay right here.